RPW Gaming here with the next episode to the Back to the Basics series. Now, what this means is I've created a new series to kind of vamp off the old one known as the Beginner's Guide to WarDragons series. And today we're going to be going over developing a daily routine because healthy habits from the start are going to help you out in the long run. So this is going to be for your beginner level player. It's going to be for someone under level 40 that, doesn't have, a habit or routine that they've created yet. And we're going to go over, the benefits of this. Now, with that being said, if you're not a new player and you know new players, like you've got either friends that just started playing or someone in your team or even on your feeder teams, then feel free to share these, links with them. You can just share the entire series if you'd like. But again, this is a series that I'm revamping off of my old series known as the Beginner's Guide to WarDragons series, which is pretty well outdated because they've done a lot of updates and a lot of changes in the game. So I want to make sure everybody is on the same playing field and not completely confused. So if you've already watched that series, I want to thank you for your support. Now, with that being said, you don't have to be tiny level player. You might find something you've learned about, or you might have something you want to add to the table. If there is, feel free to put a comment below. Let us know what you think. Give us your opinions, whatever. I am open to that. That'd be awesome because we're all here to help one another. But today's video is about developing daily routines. Now, with these daily routines, you can really mess yourself over if you're not at least daily logging in. To be a weekend player, you may find yourself with like 30% less resources than somebody else. Or, if you're a daily player, you might find yourself with a lot more than most other people. So that is a big one. So today we're going to go over the 10 daily tasks you should be doing in order to be more successful in WarDragons. Okay, so the first one I really want to go over is, of course, collecting your daily goodies. Even if you don't have time to play, there's no reason for you not to just log in and at least collect your daily stuff. That's your tokens. That's things like when people buy something and you get a perk from that. That is things like your check-in prizes over at the Bounty Harbor and, things of that nature. So even if you don't actually actively play every day, you shouldn't at least be missing out on these things. It is so easy to go in and go click, 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 and be done with it. So even on the busiest days, this is something that any player, whether you are, a very casual player or a very high, output player, this is something that anybody can easily do without any question at all. So if you're not getting this done, then you're really messing yourself over on the resources you could be getting. Number 2, check for possible wars. Oh my gosh, I can't say this enough. If you fail to check if your team has a war that's been declared on either way, then you could miss this war. And, it is easy to miss because it's just a little, little timer on the right-hand side. And if you do miss that war, you could find yourself missing a team. Like they could end up kicking you from that team. So always double check that there's not a war pretty well first thing when you go in. Now, with that being said, all you got to do is click on the war little tab thing and it's going to show you if there's a war going on. So it's not hard. All you got to do is click. All right. So the third thing is check your message center. I get it. We get emails, we get texts all day, we have to read at work or whatever it might be. So it's so boring and so daunting to have to go into the message center and read any emails that are there. Guys, most of the time, it's not going to be a lot, but you're really missing out on the information you need by not doing so. Now, I know that games are not an area where you think of, I got to go read emails. There's not going to be anything important in there. I get it. But in team-based games like this one, communication will be key to ensure that you have, a very successful playtime and that your team can be successful together. So you need to always read those messages from your team. And then, of course, there are going to be possible important messages from WarDragons themselves. So always keep that in mind and go in and check and see what's in there every day. You're going to be able to see a lot of, really nifty information, like, for example, updates or, upcoming events or whatever. Now, number 4 is egg missions. Oh my gosh, guys, if there's anything you should be doing every day that's a daunting task, that's something that you're going out and running every day, it is egg missions. Because as I've said in my earlier part of this series, you should really be prioritizing your dragons, which means you should be getting as many egg tokens as you possibly can. Now, depending on the league that you're in, this can be a challenge getting that, amount of egg tokens that you're needing. Or depending on what, branch you're going on in the event, you could really be hurting yourself on egg tokens. So egg missions is where it's at, guys. every day before you do any attacks, you should be checking your egg mission balloon because you never know what you're going to see in there. It's possible to knock out all 3 of your stuff just doing your normal attacks. So let's say it says, cast the lightning bolt 2 times, defeat a base with ember or whatever. You can almost go do your normal runs and knock these out at the same time. So don't waste time and make it to where that day you have to sit there and grind out those if you can do them at the same time. It only makes sense. And these do add up, guys, especially considering one resets every hour and the other one resets like every day. Number 5, keep the forge building going. Now, I'm not saying that every single day you're going to have to go in and start something new. But if you notice that there's something there, just click on it, see how many you're down, kind of keep your eye on it. Doesn't mean go in and start something every day. But if you find yourself where you've got down to 1 item left and there's 18 hours on it, and let's say you don't click on it and you don't realize it's the last item in your queue, then when you go to bed that night and wake up, you're going to collect something and there's not going to be anything going on. And you've just wasted up to 8 hours that could have made something. So to me, because that does make your resources, it does make things like timers, try to keep it going at all times. All right, so number 6 is remember your babies. Aw, the little baby dragons. All right, dragon growth is important, and keeping up with the baby dragons can be pretty easy with their XP by just simply following a bigger player. So like if you're done with your runs, you see some players going out and doing some stuff, jump in and do that. Or let's say you're supposed to follow 4 attacks, or not, well, I'm just putting out a number, and no specific dragon, then maybe you can do that and follow somebody into Atlas or whatever and ask for that XP, because believe it or not, that will add up. I mean, you've got about a month's time to put that stuff on that dragon, and then that's less food you're needing to get at once too. You'd literally be doing an XP runs, then you'd feed it, and then, every day you could do that. And it really can make it so much less stressful in the end. So keep an eye on those. Always know what you've got to get to breedable, because sometimes you might accidentally lose track. All right, so the next one is check the event team plans. Now, this means, for example, when you're in a PvP, your team is going to have what they call an event plan inside of the event itself in most cases. So if you don't check that and you don't know what you're supposed to attack next, and you just simply start attacking, you could be not helping at all. You could literally just have been actually helping by hitting what they want you to target, but instead you're just free-for-alling and just going in and doing anything. It only takes 2 seconds, guys, to click on that little button. Now, another thing you can do, of course, is go into your team wiki. They might have something in there that will give you kind of an idea of what their strategy might be for specific events. So don't forget to check that out when you're going in as well. All right, number 8. All right, this is going to be doing your event quests. Now, what I mean by that is if you go into the event, at the very bottom, there's the quest tab. Now, some teams out there do require that, all their players do all of these, which I think is just wow. But even if you're not on a team like that and you're not having to do them all every day, you really should attempt to do at least one a day, because that's going to at least give you that 100 sigil prize on that last day. And think about it, that's 1.2k tokens, or sigils, every season. So that's really crappy to miss out on something like that. But again, that's something you're gonna be able to find. I don't have the access to it right now, but over here where you get to your PvP. Number 9, research it. Do not ignore starting another research item. So always glance over at your research hall just in case you have the ability to start a new one. And what I mean by that is if you see that over in the research center that it stopped moving or there's something done, then go get another one started immediately, because you don't want to waste any time. Now, granted, you don't want to waste resources there either, which we'll go over in a later video, but always keep something researching. Don't let it just sit there and linger unless you really literally can't research anything. Okay, so this last one's not going to pertain to everyone, because not everybody watching this video is going to have Atlas access, or you might even be too small to even get it if you were on a team with it. So this one I'm not going to really go into details on. I'm just explaining to you that if and when you get Atlas, this is something you should be creating a daily routine for as well, similar to what you would on the outside of Atlas. Now, if you're interested in things like that, like what you should be doing on your daily routine in Atlas, then be sure to go over and check out the Atlas Explorer series, which I'm super excited to have back for everybody as well, because we're going to be going over things like that too. Great little tips for those that are new in Atlas. So with that being said, over there you have everything from your Atlas quests, just like on the regular side. You, of course, can collect your extra little goodies that you get in Atlas. And then, of course, there's things like your your rider missions that'll give you those extra tokens. Anyways, guys, that is all about developing a daily routine. These routines will be personal to you and how much of a gamer you are, how much you actually log into WarDragons. If you're just, your casual player, you log in once or twice a day, then your routine will be a specific set for you. And you may want to try to, like I said, combine the way you do things so that you're not in there as long. And then you have players out there that are logging in like every hour, taking care of their egg token missions. They've got their own little routines. But it is important to develop that routine, and it really becomes more of an importance as you become bigger, because you're going, I need more tokens. And when you're small, you're thinking, I got plenty of tokens. Trust me, you don't. Get as much as you can in the very beginning. Just get these routines put together for yourself and make it a much better experience, and get yourself the things that you need, and keep up with those resources, because in the end, that is what's going to help you better develop yourself, your skills, and everything in this game. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video today. I hope it helps you better understand how to develop a routine for yourself and for your needs. Anyways, till next time, bye.